You know what? I really enjoyed the last episode of Pokemon WTF Moments, the one about the Lugia movie. I had loads of fun making it, so let's see what you guys thought of it. KTB said,
"Can we all just take a moment to acknowledge that Liam aced that Meowth impression at 19 minutes 45? Because I'm so impressed."
Well, thank you very much, Katie. Kevin Rusen said,
"Don't worry, Liam, I've rewatched the movie recently, out of boredom, and not even nostalgia can save this one."
Well, I guess cheers for the validation, Kevin. Susan Webb said,
"I've watched this video 4 times now, and I've laughed so hard each time I watched it. Love, 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 love WTF Moments, Liam. Fabulous content."
Mate, this is awesome. I'm so glad you guys liked the video as much as I liked making it. Now let's see what YouTube thought of it. Oh, for Now, the first WTF moment in today's episode technically isn't even in the episode itself. If you go to watch this episode right now on the Pokemon TV website, you'll be greeted by this episode synopsis. Our heroes try, but are unable to extinguish a dangerous fire, until the Fire Brigade, a trained team of Wartortles, arrives and quelches the flames. As a second fire rages, however, Team Rocket abduct the Wartortles, leaving Ash, Misty, Brock, and their Pokemon to somehow save the nearby town from a fiery end. Wait, Ash, Misty, and who? Brock's not even in this episode! Now look, Pokemon, I'm not just disappointed because whoever wrote this episode blurb clearly didn't get the memo about Tracey. I'm disappointed that this same blurb is still on your official website in December 2021. That's absurd! The episode itself begins with Ash, Misty, and Tracey taking a detour on a nearby island when they suddenly notice a fire's broken out in a nearby warehouse. Ash and Misty immediately run to help with their water Pokemon, but that just makes me wonder why nobody else in this massive crowd has offered to help either. Like, surely with water-type Pokemon being the most common Pokemon type, statistically there's gotta be a few trainers in this crowd that have water-type Pokemon. In fact, Tracey, he has a water-type Pokemon, Marill, and he doesn't offer to help. God, some people just want to watch the warehouse burn, I guess. Misty tells Staryu to use Water Gun on the fire, and Ash tells Squirtle to do the same. Ash, mate, did you forget Squirtle knows Hydro Pump? Have him use that, you numpty. As Ash and Misty shout on words of encouragement, Squirtle stops using Water Gun to turn to Ash and say,
"Squirtle, squirt!"
Mate, what are you stopping for? There's a fire. Less talky, more fiery putty outy. Just as some burning debris is about to fall on Ash and friends, a group of Wartortle turn up and shove them all out of harm's way. And then they proceed to just take a really awkwardly long time to just stand there. Like, come on, man. Ash even has time to use the Pokedex before you actually start doing anything. Seriously, how is standing around trying to look intimidating gonna put out the fire? What, you're gonna stare the fire out? Now, when the team of Wartortle finally start working on putting the fire out, I get that Ash's Squirtle is in disbelief, but still, why did he stop trying to help put the fire out? Staryu as well. Like, even with this team of Wartortle clearly working together as a unit, surely more water guns can't hurt, right? I'm just saying, standing around and letting the other Pokemon put the fire out and not even trying to help, that's not very protagonistic. After Captain Aidan introduces himself and Team Wartortle to Ash and friends, this Wartortle manages to say Wartortle without even moving its mouth. And Ash's Squirtle then says Squirtle without moving its mouth. Apparently, Pokemon make great ventriloquists. Pass it on. Later, Captain Aidan shows the gang Team Blastoise, who put out the biggest fires, and Team Squirtle, who put out the fires in the tightest places. Tracey, who's already drawing, mind you, suddenly exclaims, "I gotta make some sketches of this." Mate, you've already started, we can see you. This means that after you started sketching, you noticed that nobody was paying any attention to you. So you just had to make a point of making sure everybody knew that you were gonna be drawing these Pokemon. Mate, that is some desperation right there. Now, if you're desperate to see Pokemon WTF Moments last until the end of time, leave a like on this video to help the channel and leave a lovely comment down below. If you can't think of a lovely comment, leave something generic like
Wartortle? More like Bortortle, am I right?
Or just put the name of the secret Pokemon I've hidden somewhere in the video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an episode of WTF Moments. 42% of you are not subscribed to this channel even though you're enjoying the content, so let's fix that. And thank you as always for getting us to 1.74 million subscribers. I know it doesn't look like that on the sub count, but if you subscribe today, maybe YouTube will add that missing 0.
Well, actually, Liam, shouldn't you also tell everyone to share this video?
Well, actually, I saved that for last because we're doing something different this week. At some point during the first 3 days of this video being live, I'm going to be choosing one person at random who shared this video on Twitter, tags me in that tweet, and uses the hashtag WTFBDSP, and that one lucky person will be receiving the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl Dual Pack and the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl Special Edition Switch Lite to play them on. This isn't a bit, by the way, this is actually happening, so go to Twitter, share this video, and of course tag me in it and use the hashtag WTFBDSP so I can actually find your tweet. I'll pick a winner after 3 days, but anyway, back to the video. Captain Aidan says that Team Wartortle are a perfect combination of Blastoise's power and Squirtle's maneuverability. I mean, that sounds great, but it's total bollocks. Wartortle are weaker than Blastoise, so therefore don't have their power. And they're bigger than Squirtle, which is why Team Squirtle can fit into places that Team Wartortle can't. So Team Wartortle aren't a combination of Blastoise and Squirtle at all. They're just a decent compromise between the two. They're average, or in other words, they're mid, if anything. Ash's Squirtle then gets a Mardon, and Misty explains it must be disappointed because it had to watch Team Wartortle put out that fire. Well, it didn't have to watch them put out the fire. It could have easily, helped. All of a sudden, Squirtle busts out its old Squirtle Squad sunglasses and puts them on. But mate, take a step back and realize just how cringy this is. So Squirtle was trying to achieve a goal and it failed. Team Wartortle turned up and achieved that goal instead. And then after visibly displaying its disappointment, Squirtle makes a big spectacle of putting on some sunglasses that only a couple of people present even know the reference to. Mate, that is cringe. No, but seriously, imagine a kid in school trying to shoot free throws in basketball and missing every single time. And then the jock kids come up and sink every single basket. And then the first kid just goes... Honestly, Squirtle's lucky he's not getting a swirly right now. Tracey asks Ash to explain what's going on, and Ash replies,
Oh, I forgot. You weren't around back then, were you?
No, he wasn't. And better yet, he won't be around much longer. Tracey comes to the conclusion that watching Team Wartortle put out the fire must have hurt Squirtle's firefighting pride. Bugger off, Squirtle, you put out like one fire with the Squirtle Squad like 2 years ago. Don't be out here pretending you give a single toss about firefighting. You're literally just throwing a wobbly because Wartortle's a better Pokemon. I mean, either that or Tracey's talking out his arse again, which is also entirely plausible. As Team Rocket watch on, they get excited by the prospect of not only stealing Pikachu, but a Wartortle and Squirtle as well. Have you not seen the group of Blastoise nearby? Surely they'd be way more valuable. Did anyone else also think we were going to see a Pokemon battle when Ash challenged Captain Aidan to see whether Squirtle or Wartortle was better? I did. But it turns out we're getting a 100-meter sprint. I swear I should expect this by now. I've been burned by this show way too many times at this point. During the race, Squirtle trips on a rock and ends up rolling into Wartortle, and the two of them roll across the finish line at the same time. We then get this direct quote from Tracey.
I don't believe it. The two of them set a new turtle Pokemon land speed record.
And nobody bats an eyelid. Captain Aidan literally just says,
Impressive.
and that's it. Hello, they just set a new land speed record for their species. Should that not be a bigger deal? Captain Aidan then offers to let Squirtle join in on an all-day Wartortle training session. And then we get a stare down between Ash's Squirtle and the main Wartortle, which, let's face it, is just there to fill time and pad out the episode. We know your game, Pokemon. You ain't fooling anybody. As Wartortle water gun target practice begins, we get this direct quote from Captain Aidan. Listen up. I don't want to see any sickly little trickles this time. I want a full pressure assault.
Phrasing.
After everyone has a great showing during the target practice, Team Rocket flies a remote-controlled drone disguised as a clay pigeon across the field, which Ash's Squirtle and all the Wartortle chase after to try and hit. And after Captain Aidan yells at them to wait, they just keep running until they fall into a pit trap dug by Jesse and James. Mate, what happened to these being highly trained Wartortle? How are you going to trust these idiots in a life or death situation like a fire if they can't even follow basic commands? So let me get this straight. After Team Rocket's balloon floats up from the pit, revealing all the Wartortle and Ash's Squirtle trapped in a net, Pikachu does nothing. When Meowth uses this extendable hand thing to grab Pikachu, Pikachu does nothing. When Jesse seals Pikachu inside this shock-proof container, only then does Pikachu try using Thunderbolt. Even though it's too late because, as I said, it's a shock-proof container. Pikachu is a dunce. pass it on. James sends out wheezing, and even though only one of the mouths opens and uses smokescreen, we definitely hear both wheezing voices speak. There we have it. Pokemon ventriloquists are a thing. Confirmed. Tracey sends out Scyther to use Swords Dance to clear the smoke, but let's face it, this is Whirlwind and Tracey's just a hacker. And let me tell you, this thing spins for like 5 seconds and afterwards is completely gassed like Bill Goldberg after 2 spears. Tracey's Scyther is absolute garbage. Pass it on.
Actually, Liam, I think you'll find Tracey's Scyther is in fact quite old, so obviously it's gonna get tired more easily.
So what? Old things can still be garbage. Just look at your mum. Team Rocket argue about which of the 3 of them should get to keep one of the Pokemon they've stolen rather than giving all of them to the boss. And throughout their whole argument about who deserves to keep one, I couldn't help but think, why don't they all just keep one? Then that still leaves like 5 Pokemon for Giovanni. Team Rocket, use your noodles. Meowth scratches Jesse and James and says he did it because he wanted to prove he's tough as nails, and we then get this direct quote from Jesse.
Well, you and your nails are gonna get hammered.
Now I get the reference here, you know, hammer, nails, haha, very poggers, but really, it just sounds like she's threatening to get Meowth drunk. Jesse mate, don't get your cat drunk. You're not a Linity. Christ, we are really scraping the bottom of the barrel for jokes today, aren't we? To be fair, I'm also scraping the bottom of the barrel for seamless transitions into the GFuel spawn. So I guess this will have to do. Once again, just a massive thank you to everybody that has bought the Gary 2 GFuel Shaker, the official GFuel Shaker of this channel. I appreciate you very much. There's still plenty available, and once they're gone, so make sure you pick them up, get yourself a starter kit with this shaker, or just get the shaker on its own, whatever you like. Use code ACE when you do, and you'll save 10% off your GFuel order, because code ACE is really nice to you, and it's really nice to me in return. I'd also recommend picking up Jingle Juice, which is kiwi strawberry. It's been brought back with a new name, and oh, so glad it's back. I love kiwi strawberry, and that means I love Jingle Juice, because that's what it is. Oh, that is bloody lovely. Go to gfuel.com, pick up the Gary 2 shaker to support this channel, and of course pick up whatever flavors you like. Use code ACE when you do. Save yourself 10% off while supporting your favorite channel. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because children do not need caffeine, and because it contains caffeine, just drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. Meanwhile, back in the city, an apartment complex is on fire, and Team Blastoise can't get to it because a truck has overturned and is blocking the way. Here's a crazy idea. Why don't you just walk around the truck? Or failing that, around the block? Don't try and tell me that in the middle of a city there's only one way to get to the front of a building. Misty offers to help fight the fire, and Tracey sends out Marilyn Scyther to help too. Mate, don't send Scyther to try and help. It got knackered after using one move. What good's it gonna be against an entire fire? I just realised, Captain Aidan doesn't even give Misty a lift back into town. The poor girl has to run the whole way back. Christ, it's not like there's something deep in the city that needs urgent attention, like, I don't know, a burning building.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find Captain Aidan needs to go in the other direction to try and get his Wartortle back.
Exactly! His priorities are all messed up. Whilst Team Rocket are still bickering, Squirtle and all the Wartortle flood the building they're in until the windows and doors give out. And I just hope that the container Pikachu's in is also watertight as well as shockproof, because otherwise Ash is going to arrive to a very dead best friend. The Wartortle and Squirtle work in unison to jump one row at a time to move the net like a big wheel. And this doesn't really make sense to me. The holes in the net are big enough for you to fit your legs through, so just walk. Why waste all this energy on this synchronized jumping nonsense? Tracey's Venonat hits 3 opponents with a single tackle attack. Tracey is a hacker. Confirmed. Ash puts his hands on the glass of the container Pikachu's in and twists, obviously unscrewing the glass from the base. But the stuff on the top doesn't turn with the glass for some reason, so it just looks like Ash is giving the glass a gentle rub before taking it off. Almost like he's contemplating leaving Pikachu in there. Maybe he's debating whether or not now is the time to start a new adventure with a new partner Pokemon. Maybe he could just tell people the glass was stuck tight. Pikachu didn't have enough air. He didn't make it. How would anyone know? Wow, that train of thought went very south very quickly, didn't it? I know they're just telling their Pokemon to use water gun attack, but there's something about the phrase fire water gun that just feels like an oxymoron. Even though, in this case, it obviously isn't. Back at the burning building, Misty watches on as Staryu, Marill, Scyther, and Team Squirtle try to put out the fire. And apparently Ash and Tracey are there too. Wait, but if that's the case, where is Ash Ash's Squirtle and Captain Aidan and Team Wartortle? And how did Ash and Tracey get there faster than a literal jeep? Answers on a postcard. We see Tracey's Scyther swiping at debris that's falling from the building. And you guessed it, after a few swipes, it's absolutely cream crackered. Bruh, someone put this Scyther out of its misery. It's got no quality of life. Also, surely by slicing at the debris with your bread knife-like arms is probably flicking some of that debris at innocent bystanders. Scyther, mate, you're really no help to anyone, are you? As Staryu, Marill, and Team Squirtle are all desperately trying to put out the fire, because remember, Team Blastoise have refused to simply walk around the block, I'm starting to realise this city would be much better off if they just invested in an actual fire brigade, instead of just relying on Pokemon. Or even if they do have to rely on Pokemon, maybe they should invest in more Pokemon. Ash's Squirtle and the lead Wartortle arrived just in time to save Misty from a burning chunk of building that was plummeting towards her. And we see Captain Aidan and the rest of Team Wartortle running up behind them, along with Ash and Tracey. Wait, what? I thought Ash and Tracey were already there. Mate, I can't handle this lack of continuity. It's really buggering up my equilibrium. Suddenly it's revealed that a child is trapped in the burning building several stories up. Mate, how are you only just shouting for help when you've been in this burning building for like 10 whole minutes at this point? Did you not think it was as bad of a fire at first? Did you think it was just one of your mum's newest fragrances from Yankee Candle? It just seems a little bit weird that you wait for so long before calling for help. Unless, oh my god, we've solved it. This kid started the fire. He's been sat up there contemplating what's worse, dying in an inferno or his mum finding out he burnt down the whole building. This kid is an arsonist. Confirmed. Have you ever wondered how you can tell a frame was animated right before someone went on their lunch break? Well, Tracey having one arm the same color as his shirt and Togepi literally missing its entire face is probably a pretty solid giveaway. Oh look, Team Blastoise has finally moved the truck and arrived at the scene of the fire. Just like they could have done all along. I guess now they're gonna put out the fire? Oh no, they're just gonna blast Squirtle and Wartortle into the burning building while everybody else stands around, not putting out the fire. I'm really starting to think that even if these firefighting Pokemon are unpaid volunteers, this city still isn't getting its money's worth. Ash's Squirtle is strong enough to hold the weight of a Wartortle and a human child at the same time with one arm. Ash's Squirtle is hench. Pass it on. Direct quotes from Ash and Misty.
Squirtle's still in there, and it's been an awfully long time.
Never fear, let's hear what words of wisdom firefighting hero Captain Aidan has to say.
Maybe.
You what, mate? That's all you can say? Yeah, way to give the kids hope, lad. Well done. After the fire's put out and the day is saved, we get another long stare down between Ash's Squirtle and the main Wartortle, just to add a few more seconds onto the episode runtime. But I've gotta say, this one really drags on. Like, I regret complaining about any of the earlier stare downs because this one wipes the floor with all of them. It feels like it never ends. The next morning, as everyone says their goodbyes, Ash's Squirtle and the main Wartortle shake hands and Misty is surprised that they could be friends.
Tracey then says, even though they're different, I guess they're just two of a kind.
Mate, they're from the same evolution line. They're not that different. Direct quote from the narrator.
As our heroes head for new adventure, two Pokemon say goodbye.
Wait, two Pokemon? So Squirtle said goodbye to the main Wartortle, but not the other 5? Bit rude. And does that mean Pikachu didn't say goodbye to any of them? Miserable bastard. So those are my WTF moments of Pokemon Season 2, Episode 26, the Pokémon Water War. Let me know your favorites and any that I might have missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Head to twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam for all of my live streams, and go to GFuel.com, pick up the Gary 2 shaker, and use code ACE to save 10% on your order. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.